slang drip shit, you know?
Hey YouTube, it's your host Taya J, and I am back with another episode on TheGlow Talk. And on today's show, I have a very special guest. She is a community coordinator and entrepreneur, Jazmine Atkinson. Hey Jazmine, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
If you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, I'm a UNC Charlotte alum. I actually just graduated like 2 weeks ago. My degrees were in
Congratulations.
Thank you. My degrees were in psychology and French. I currently work at a mental health facility in Charlotte, North Carolina as a community coordinator. As well, I have my own business. I sell custom and personalized phone cases. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Right now, I'm really just working on finishing up my French classes and working on going to grad school.
Okay. So what made you want to get a degree in French?
Well, so, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in North Carolina, you're required to take a language course. And I'm like, I cannot roll my R's. I cannot roll my R's. So I knew I didn't want to take Spanish because that was like, I knew like my accent was going to be terrible. So then there was French, and I always, like just based on movies and stuff, I guess I always been interested in France and, Paris. So I had the opportunity to take French. I ended up wanting to be fluent. So I literally took it all through high school, but I never paid attention. So, I mean, I didn't know that much. I just did what I needed to do to, get A's and B's in the classes. But when I went to college, I was really set on this is what I wanted to do. For a while, I actually wanted to be, well, I still kind of do, want to end up becoming a French citizen. So that's pretty much just like the culture. I think it's kind of similar to United States, but I kind of prefer it over United States.
It's actually so funny that you said something about doing French classes in Paris. I've always wanted to go to Paris all my life. So, girl, we can go together. Let's go to Paris together. I don't know no French. I'm going to have to take some French classes so I can learn. But yes, I love Paris as well.
I actually had the opportunity to study abroad. About 2 years ago. Yeah, and
that's
so
awesome.
You don't even need to know French. Like French people, I'm not going to say the stereotype is correct, but it's not that wrong. So it depends where you're at also. But like I'll talk French to somebody and they'll talk to me in English. And then I'll talk French back and they'll talk to me. Yeah, like, and it's like they know you want to practice, but they'll still talk to you in English. So that's only so yeah,
that's
most
interesting.
people know English, if you're in like a big city.
Interesting. That's so interesting. You mentioned that you have a job in mental health. What made you want to get a career or start a job in mental health?
Well, I'm one of those people who like particularly plan every step of their life out. Even if some things don't go my way, there's still a plan. Like I have a backup to the backup, right?
Right. No, I understand.
But I've known I wanted to work with mental health since I was in middle school. I've never been, there's really people who are clinically depressed or, can't really pick themselves up. I will say I have struggled with my own, depression. I actually just got diagnosed with anxiety disorder. But even before that, like sometimes I would feel down and I couldn't really talk to anybody about it. It would be, I'll kind of downplay it, and nobody really understood. And even from a young age, I just always knew like I don't want anybody else to have the same experience I had. And like my mother, me and my mom, we have a great relationship. And even as somebody like she's like my best friend. And even for kind of not to understand, that's really, imagine people who don't have the same situation. So I always wanted to work in it. And actually I don't like to do much. So that was one thing. Like I don't do things just to like, oh, maybe I'll try to know, like I need to know I like it. So I really like psychology. It's interesting. I can pretty much go into wherever aspect I want to, wherever field I want to, just because it's such a versatile degree.
So. Yeah, that's awesome. And the reason you're doing it is amazing as well. Like you said, it's a lot of people that don't have that support system. So that's a good thing. We have people out here that's willing and love to do it. That's what's so important. You mentioned that you have a business. You're an entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, so it's called Project Lotus Flower, Project
Mm-hmm.
Lotus Flower on Instagram and also on TikTok. So
Okay.
I sell custom and personalized phone cases. Most of them, I just actually, before I started doing drop shipping, so which is, if you don't know, I was using a third source company and I
Mm-hmm.
was designing it myself, but they were shipping the product to the customers. Now
Mm-hmm.
I actually went ahead and brought the products first. So I do everything myself now. I'm
Okay.
100%, on my own, which is definitely more than I expected. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so custom and personalized phone cases. What really happens is you can go on my website, you can buy cases that I've already made, or you can send in your requests.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten people wanting me to draw them. People wanted like lyrics, words. I've gotten
Wow.
requests. Yeah.
That's dope. I was looking at your custom cases on. I was like, this girl is fire. I need to get a case from her. Seriously, they're dope. So y'all make sure y'all go check her out on social media. Her products are awesome. The name of the company, Project Lotus Flower. How did you come up with the name?
Well, as I told you, I also want to really work with mental health. So
Mhm.
originally, so the lotus flower, it grows like upside down, and then
Oh
when it,
wow.
yeah, and then when it blooms, obviously it comes forward, and that's
Okay.
how it's the lotus flower, right? So it's pretty much
Mhm.
like when you look at it visually, it's about like kind of raising yourself above the mud,
Mm.
and I put project in front of lotus flower just because, this is not it's an ongoing thing, right? It's a whole project that
Mhm.
I want to do. So when I first started Project Lotus Flower phone cases, I'm like, okay, so my ultimate dream, I guess my goal is to open up my own therapeutic center.
Mhm.
So for me, my phone cases, that's just one stop. I'm not in it necessarily for the money. I'm in it more
Mhm.
so the money that I will get from it, I'm putting it away. Like I don't even touch the
Right.
money that I get from my business actually. I put it in my savings because I wanted to that's what I'm going to use to build my therapeutic centers. So it's the whole
Mm.
project, and even from
Okay.
I don't want just one therapeutic center, I don't want just one practice. Like I want multiple things to be incorporated.
Mhm.
That's in the mental health field. So that's why it's like a whole project, and through everything, everything isn't easy. So I always just remember like sometimes you're down, but you always come up, and that's just what the lotus flower represents.
Ah, I just learned something. I did not know that that's how lotus flower grew. I had no idea. I always heard about, lotus flower and how beautiful it is when it does bloom and all of the deep meanings behind it. But now it makes so much more sense, to why people say the things they say about a lotus flower now. Wow. That's
Yeah.
so interesting.
I know,
Oh,
definitely cool.
yes. So you want to open up your own therapeutic center. That is
Yeah.
dope. I love that. And with the therapeutic center, will it only be located in Carolina? And you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So will it only be located there, or are you thinking about expanding, or what's your
I,
thought
I
process
want,
on
I
that?
want, I want like a chain of therapeutic centers.
Okay.
That's my goal. Um, definitely with that. Obviously, I can't be in every place at once, but I know I want
Mhm.
my businesses to have certain values and certain expectations that they have to withhold. So, I'm not expecting it to be an easy process or anything,
Right.
just because it has to be up to par. Like every place, you know how you go to some places in different states and it's different.
Mhm.
That's not really what I want to do. So
Right.
my goal is to be able to get it worldwide, but it has to be on my level of perfection, for me to
Hey. Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that. With your business, you do personalized phone cases. What made you decide to do personalized phone cases as the main product that's being sold?
Well, you look at specifically Black women, all these other
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, and you kind of look at what they're selling, and I do have certain talents. I have, I can, wiggle my way through different things, but
Mm-hmm.
things like I prefer to be a consumer. Like, I try to stay in my lane. So
Mm-hmm.
one day, my mom was actually an entrepreneur. So I kind of
Okay.
already
Wow.
grew up around that whole, she like since Since 21 years, she's been an entrepreneur. She has not had a job like what she had to clock in.
Yes.
So I know, I'm like, snap, that's what I need, right?
Right.
So one thing, she was like, she was pretty much teaching me, like, you have to have different streams of income. You can't depend on one thing. So, she just like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm like I told you, I don't do anything I don't want to, just because if it's not perfect, I'm like ashamed of it anyway, So she was like, you should do this, you should do, like, she just like, constantly giving me different things I could do.
Right.
And one day she was like, you should do phone cases. And at this point, I'm just tired of like listening to her. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Right, right.
What ended up happening, she helped me. She told me about the drop shipping, and I started doing that. And then, so I've designed a lot of my phone cases, and I do all of the custom phone cases, the orders that come in. But I have a friend who's a graphic designer, and she actually she has done, like, we have a Black Girl Magic collection. She did the entire collection, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's different graphics. So originally I was like, okay, I'll just kind of pay people and then I'll sell the product. They can design it, I'll sell it. But I ended up actually really liking it, and especially because this is my first like real business. I ended up putting so much work into it, time and money. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't quit. It's like I have to keep going. So that's pretty much how it really came about. My mom was just getting on my nerves, and I just was like, okay. And I actually ended up liking it. And I always could draw to a certain extent. So once I got the program and once I really like began to practice, like, and even now I'm still practicing, it just became something that's easier to me. And I don't hate doing it. And that's all that matters to me, is that
right.
I actually like it.
Yeah, definitely want to do something that you enjoy doing. You don't mind waking up to do it. You don't mind staying up late to do it. So that's very important as well. And girl, I completely understand where you're coming from about mom being nagging and getting on our nerves and all of that, because my mom nag, get on my nerves. You should do this, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then I'll think about it and be like, you know what, you were right. That actually worked out.
I guess I'll try it,
Right, I guess I'll see what it's about. And then it ends up blowing up and being, one of your main streams of income, or one of the two mainstreams. So yeah, I definitely understand that. You do phone cases, right? What all size phone cases do you do?
I only do iPhone as of now. I do iPhone 7, every iPhone through iPhone 7 through iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Okay. And cases are able to be customized, right?
Yes. So I do, those are more expensive than, all of them are custom cases. And you can't find it anywhere else, but the ones that people actually come to me and say they want this, or if it's pictures of them or their family, I do charge more, just because, obviously, usually what happens is you just tell me what you want. I want, describe to me what you want. And what I found is people never want what they describe, right? So it's always, so what I do is, and I've actually implemented, I got a text number, so I can actually text people, because it's way easier than trying to email back and forth the adjustments that they want.
Right.
So like, my friend bought one for me, so I'm gonna just use her as an example. She wanted her name, a small Gemini symbol, and like a box around it, which it could be yellow, purple, or turquoise. So I gave her that. And it was so simple. So usually what I do is I give people, depending on how simple, if it's really simple, I can give you 4 or 5 samples. If it's more intricate, I'll give you 2 or 3.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it hurt. So mind you, her name, her zodiac sign, in a box.
Okay.
The finished product was 2 Afro women facing each other with paint splatters in the background. And
wow.
Yeah, and both of them had 2 different types of crowns on, and it had her zodiac symbol hanging off her name. So that was like, completely different from what she actually wanted. So I do charge more for those, just because I found like it's always more than what people,
Right. That's dope. And it's even doper because like Geminis are 2 different. Aren't they twins? I think they're twins. The signs are like twins.
Because she's a Gemini, so that's why she wanted the,
Oh, that's
yeah.
so cool. Hey, it's out. Look, girl, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing for sure. You're doing phone cases right now. Do you think that you will dive into doing merch like t-shirts, pants, um, anything else outside of phone cases, or is it just strictly phone cases for right now?
I definitely plan on elaborating on the phone accessory brand.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the things that like the poppets? I'm not sure. Oh, this is actually one of my phone cases.
Okay, yes,
Uh,
ma'am. Promote.
but like I don't know those things like the pop that you kind of hold your phone with. You know what I'm talking
The little
about?
pop socket.
The pop, yeah, that's the pop
Okay.
socket. I definitely want to start doing Android phones, at least
Okay.
Samsung to start. So I do want to branch out, but like I told you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very firm. I think a lot of times like people try to do too much. We
Mm-hmm.
try to kind of get our lane, and me personally, like just everything in my life, me being a community coordinator, me
Mm-hmm.
graduating, what I have planned, going to because I'm actually going to grad school in France, and then what I plan to do
Oh
after
wow.
that, yeah, and you know, I feel like, of course, from when I was 18 years old, things turned out differently,
Right.
somewhat, right? But overall, I'm like, I was really, because I graduated, so I was really kind of reflecting on like my past 3.5 years, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like I personally, I mean, I would want to be richer, but other than that,
Mm-hmm. All
I
right.
can't, like, I'm at where I want to be, where I'm at right now is exactly where I want to be. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I could elaborate to making t-shirts, pants, but I definitely think you have to play your talents and like what you want to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when you stay in your lane, like it's foolproof, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I believe like when you continue to work on something every day that you like and that you love, like there's no way you're not going to be successful in some which way or form, right?
Right.
So whatever that means to you, whether that's money, whether that's just getting a certain position, you know. So yeah. I mean, I might do screen protectors, just different stuff. But
Hey,
right
yeah.
now, I'm just like, this, I don't want to ever take, and I'm actually really busy. So I don't ever want to take, too much on my plate, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, it definitely sounds like you have a lot going on. With all of that being said, what is your inspiration behind everything that you do, from school to wanting to be in France to the therapeutic center to even your business?
Well, like I told you, my mother's an entrepreneur. And,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to money, people
Mm-hmm.
tend to stress money a lot. And I do, of course, I want money. I want to be rich. But,
Right.
excuse me. But in my life, I've been poor,
Mm-hmm.
struggling. I've been middle class, and I've been like upper middle class, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
well off type. So with
Right.
that being said, money comes and goes. So
Yeah,
for
definitely,
me,
definitely.
my inspiration is, yeah, I want, you do need money though, right? I want enough
Mm-hmm.
money to where I can help others, and I don't have to worry about how I want to come up with this so I can help this person or help this community. So yeah, money
Mm-hmm.
is somewhat of my inspiration, but like really the root of wanting money is so I can help other people. That's like a really big thing for me. Just being able to reach people, and especially as I continue to get older. And I live in Charlotte, which is a city, it's
Mm-hmm.
not like New York, whatever, but it's a pretty big city.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many homeless people. There's so many people that are in the lower socioeconomic status. So
Mm-hmm.
just being constantly surrounded by that and constantly seeing that, I'm like, oh yeah, like I would really want to help them versus
Mm-hmm.
you know just kind of think about myself. So pretty much what I want to do, like I told you, I have the backup to the backup. Everything,
Right.
I want to go to France because one, I feel like, yeah, I want money, yeah, I want to reach all this stuff, but we live one life. So, I gotta
Right.
see the world because one, traveling is so much cheaper over there, right? So
Okay.
I can see so many places, but my main inspiration is just living life, being able to live life to the fullest, being able to be proud of myself
Mm-hmm.
and being able to help others. Cause I'm gonna be okay, That's what
Yeah.
I'm never worried about. What I'm gonna be like. I'm gonna be okay at all times. I'm
Right.
more so always worried about how others are going to handle different situations.
Okay. Okay. we've spoken about your therapeutic center. I want to go back on that real quick. What all will you offer in your therapeutic center?
Well, I think when it comes to therapy, often, there's physical therapy, there's so many different aspects of therapy besides the mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spiritual aspect to therapy. And of course, you have to look at what people want and what their beliefs are. But
Mm-hmm.
my therapeutic center, I want to offer, your basic counseling, things like acupuncture, art therapy, massage therapy, the different, as many forms of therapy as I can, just because,
Okay.
one therapy that works for somebody is not going to work for somebody else. And
Right.
sometimes we can combine something like there's dance therapy, like there's so many different types of
Mm-hmm.
therapies. And I feel like for those to really come together and for somebody to do that, like the results would be completely, I guess, changing. Because I think a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have this kind of idea that you have to be 100% happy. And I think that's like, I don't
Right.
know where that came from, because I
Right.
don't know about you, but I could be on top of the world and something could be
Right.
low going on, but I'm happy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm up here. This is the best
Right.
I've been in a
Right.
while, but I still got some mess going on over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
being able to have a therapist that kind of embodies different things that people can enjoy, that's really
Mm-hmm.
what I want my therapeutic center to entail, not just kind of that counseling therapy, talking about your feelings. And yeah, talking about your feelings is beneficial, but
Right.
nobody wants to talk about their feelings like constantly. Like,
Right.
there's different
Exactly.
ways to kind of boost morale. So that's really what I want
Mm-hmm.
my therapeutic center to embody, not just the negative aspect of therapy, but also the positives and
Mm-hmm.
what you can really get from it.
Okay. Okay. The ages that can, come into your therapeutic center, is it going to be all ages? Or is it going to start at a certain age, stop at a certain age? How exactly will that work?
Well, when, like I told you, I kind of went through my own stuff originally, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
focus on adolescence, which I'm still pretty solid on. The only reason I'm like, maybe based on my work now that I do in the mental
Mm-hmm.
health field, I actually found that the ages between 18 and like 22, I want to say, they're
Mm-hmm.
actually need, like, that transition age really into adulthood, that they actually
Mm-hmm.
really need. So I was thinking about also focusing on that. I am not a big fan of kids. So, and I mean, I would like, I like kids that I can, and then give them back to their parents, right? So
No,
I
I understand.
right. So adolescence and up, probably like, I'll say maybe like 11 through ages like 25 is probably what I would really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of everything you're doing, who inspires you to keep going?
Um, Myself. I'm really hard on myself, right? So, like, if I lay down in the bed for too long, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying, of course we need a self care day, but if
Right.
going on day 2 and I haven't done anything, and no, seriously, because like I literally will like beat myself up, like almost to the point like it will carry on. Like then day 3 will come and I can get up, like there's nothing stopping me from
Mm-hmm.
getting up, but I'm still so sad that I didn't do nothing the day before,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm really just like, oh, like I'm a failure, this kind of thing. Like I really get down on myself. Is definitely
Mm-hmm.
something I've been working on, because I will say my mental health, my mentally, I do measure, I guess, my happiness by how productive I am, and that is terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's okay not to do nothing, and
Right.
especially I was in school, right? So for me to be getting down in the dumps because I didn't work on my
Mm-hmm.
business today, but today I'm working towards a degree. Like, I am doing something essentially, but to me that I was just like, oh, I'm not doing anything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I inspire myself because I don't want to feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my mother also. I'm telling my mother, me and her like this, like we really. I call her. I call her every day pretty much.
Yeah.
She just always inspired me just to do as much as I can, because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I don't really like to do stuff I don't want to. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing her being able to do whatever she wants to every day and taking
Mm-hmm.
care of her business and actually doing, doing well at it and being successful,
Right.
that really inspires me, because I'm like, that's what I want for myself. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind working for others as a pit stop, because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
especially in I need experience in my field. So
Mm-hmm.
that's nothing like I'm shy of, but this one for the rest of my life, no, like, so
Yeah.
looking at her and her freedom, and then not wanting myself to feel bad is what really inspires me to keep going and pushing myself.
Okay, yes. I love where you said you inspire yourself, to just keep going, get up. I understand that completely. I understand that completely. I was literally earlier like, get up, get going, get started on your
Right.
day, so
And it's
completely
hard. The
understand
man be
that.
feeling good, like
Mhm. Right,
you
be
don't.
feeling good, be warm. It's like it's cold. It's like I
Right.
get up, like yeah,
Right.
because laying around isn't gonna make me money. Like
Right.
get up. So, yeah, I understand that. Um, so we're actually coming up on the last question of the evening, and that question is: if you could give any piece of advice to an upcoming entrepreneur, someone who wants to go to school for mental health, or even um, tips surrounded around taking French classes or even studying abroad, what advice would you give someone?
Um, be prepared. Um, be prepared in
No.
everything you just named. In some aspects, I was not prepared. So, for example, my business officially it's almost been a year since
Mhm.
I first launched my business.
Mhm.
Unofficially, it's been 3 4 months,
Okay.
and I say that because I was not prepared. Right. So,
Okay.
um, yeah. So October, that's when I really got on the ball, started really
Mhm.
pushing it, posting content every day. That's when it
Mhm.
really started. Right. Because I
Mhm.
wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared to cater to people. My website wasn't prepared. Like just so many things I wasn't ready for.
Mhm.
French, you have to study. Like you know what I'm saying.
Right. Right.
Psychology, it's patience. Like you have to be prepared to be patient. Excuse me,
Mhm.
you have to be prepared to be patient. And with that being said, I will also say, write it down. And we hear this all the time: write down your goals, write down your goals. But
Right.
you truly have to, just because in every aspect of my life that hasn't gone how I wanted it to go, maybe if
Mhm.
it's 6 months later, a year later, I got something better. And it was along one of my goals. Even if it wasn't that exact goal, it was
Mhm.
somehow aligned with one of the goals that I had written. So I would say
Mhm.
be prepared, be patient, don't give up, and write down your goals. Those are my tips.
Okay, yes. Y'all need to listen to Jazmine. She has some very great advice, tips. Be prepared, write stuff down, be organized. Very great tips for people who are interested in doing, the things that she's doing, even people who have a different route they want to take. Those are great, great tips to follow. And we just want to thank you, Jazmine, for coming through on the Glow Talk today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It was a pleasure having you. You gave some really great positive insight on just your business as a whole and the reason behind everything that you're doing. I truly feel that you inspired a lot of people today. So, Jazmine, where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find my business account on Instagram. It's Project Lotus Flower, as well as my TikTok. My
Mm-hmm.
personal Instagram is jazzfest_x. So that's JAZFEST_X.
Okay. Well, you guys heard Jasmine. You guys can find her on Instagram and TikTok. And you guys can find her personal page on Instagram as well. So you guys make sure you go and you support Jasmine. She has a lot of things going for herself. She is an amazing individual. And it was a pleasure having you. And I hope that you do everything that you're destined to do. You're going to do great things. Just keep going, keep fighting, and stay positive and keep glowing and growing. With that being said, that will conclude today's episode on the Glow Talk, where we are glowing and growing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and you guys stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.